The thing that's craziest to me in today's society is how lavish people seem to be living their lives in America and really across the West as a whole. I was reading an article today that was titled, "The Average American Has $90,000+ in debt." And I wanted to make a video on the topic because this is something I've always been extremely vocal about to everyone that I personally know and work with, any of my friends, family, relatives, whether they like it or not. I've always been very vocal about living below your means, right? So like, what does that mean, living below the means? You hear a lot of people criticizing someone else for living above their means. So what does it mean to live below their means? Well, to me, it means that if you're spending, 100% of what you make every single month, it's just going out the door, then you're clearly living above your means. There's so many people my age that I see getting their first job and they live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, right? And they use the other room as like their game room. Why? If you're 20 years old, 21 years old, 23 years old, 25 years old, and you're single, why do you need that, right? If you're single, why do you need 2 vehicles? I see it over and over and over again, people going and leveraging themselves beyond what they're capable of being able to pay back. Not to mention they're racking up debt at extremely high interest rates. So anyways, I'm gonna jump into this article and kind of share it with you guys that really inspired me to kind of make this video. If you see here, the average debt of Generation Z, which is my generation, is $10,000. And that's extremely high compared to like previous generations in that age group. And what's even scarier is if you look in the Millennials, which is the age 24 to 39, most people aren't really taking on a lot of debt outside of student loans during that 18 to 23 range. So normally that means credit card. And you're racking up $10,000 on credit card debt in that 18 to 23, that's gonna take a lot of time to pay it back. If you're working minimum wage or haven't had some kind of degree or certification that's gonna allow you to, get a better than $15 to $18 an hour job. What was really scary to me and what really stood out was this stat right here. It says, millennials have seen the largest increase in debt in the past 5 years. In 2015, the average millennial had about $50,000 in debt. And by 2019, they carried an average of $78,000 in total debt. That's an increase of 60% over the past 4 years. That's crazy. Like when you stop and think about that, that's really freaking crazy. If you're using debt to buy a new car that has little to no benefit other than for you to flex on Instagram, probably not the best decision for you to make. I probably can't speak on behalf of millennials and up, but on my generation and those that are around that 18 to 25 range, I can definitely say I'm seeing this more and more and more. They're going and getting these credit cards and just moving debt from one credit card to the next one that has 0 APR, running up their debt and hoping that it doesn't catch up with them, or better yet, hoping that they get famous on Instagram or TikTok before the debt comes up with them. And I think for the vast majority of people, they're going to find out at some point that the reality is not everyone's meant to be the next Kim Kardashian. So it's really scary is what I'm getting at. I pity my generation. I make videos just like this to put my opinions out there. But guys, if you're sitting there with $10,000 in credit card debt, do anything you can to get yourself out of that as soon as you can. Be mindful, guys. Live below your means. Don't go get the nicest thing just because you think you can afford it. Sacrifice now so that one day when we're all 70 and 80 years old and we can truly enjoy it, we can look back and go, I'm so glad I made that decision then. I started my first real business was buying and selling like antiques and flipping things from yard sales. And I quickly realized as I got older, I was so grateful to look back and go, man, I had friends that said, why are you working at 11 years old? Why are you trying to hustle and all this? And especially when I was coming up, it wasn't as cool as it is today to be like the cool hustler. When I was 11 flipping stuff at yard sales, that was 7, 8 years before like Gary Vee started making the content about it, or really you saw any of these big flippers on YouTube making content about it. It was not the cool thing to do. I was like the trash peddler. So anyways, long story short, looking back on my earlier days, 10 years ago I was 11, today I'm 21. I'm so grateful I put in that work then. Not 1 ounce of me regrets the time that I spent investing into the business, which was ultimately investing into myself. Even through high school, when I started working even more, I was working 24/7 for my company XiRepair, which is an electronics repair company. Check out some of my other videos if you guys haven't seen my store. Pretty cool what I built over the years, and I can kind of give you guys a little bit more insight on some of my other videos if you check it out. So guys, I hope y'all learned something. Live below your means, super important. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear some more Jonathan Strange content, and until next time.